My husband called me by his dead wife's name twice. Please help. I met my husband 4 years ago through the same work industry and we both instantly felt the same attraction. On our first date he told me he was widowed, that his wife had died unexpectedly at the age of 31, 2 years prior. 3 years later, we got married at the beginning of this year. Everything has been good until 2 months after we got married. I've noticed that his behavior was changing. He started to get more quiet and kept to himself. He stopped telling me about his day or talking to me about his niche interests like he usually does. I asked him if he was feeling alright because this behavior was really unusual. He admitted that while cleaning, he came across some of his previous wife's belongings and that he accidentally tossed something from their wedding night. I felt sad for him and I couldn't imagine how he felt as this is my first marriage. I tried my best to cheer him up but his happiness was short. One night, we got into a small disagreement about some movie we were watching. During the argument, he called me by her name, which is something that he had never done. He looked frightened and shocked that he said this. He kept apologizing after it and I told him it was alright. He cried and I held him. The next morning, I noticed he didn't sleep at all. I asked him if he wanted to talk about what happened the previous night. He got mad and told me he was gonna go visit his brother. I felt worried and told him I love him just for reassurance. It did hurt that he called me by her name, but part of me wanted to understand where he was coming from. I know he really loved this woman and sometimes I don't think I can amount to her. It seems like he holds her to a pedestal and I'm just there. I have hoped he doesn't actually feel that way, but with the recent events, I'm starting to think about it more and more. He came home around midnight and he apologized for what happened and how he reacted. I told him everything was fine and didn't express my concerns because I didn't want it to turn into another huge argument. A few weeks ago, we were having intimacy and while he was finishing, he called me by her name again. This time I was mortified, jumped off the bed, and moved away from him. He tried to comfort me by giving me a hug and he kept apologizing. I told him I was going to stay in our guest room and I did not feel up to a confrontation right now. I didn't sleep at all that night. The next morning, he kept apologizing and told him it's fine. We talked for a bit. I asked him if he was alright and if he needed to speak to someone professionally. He agreed to go speak to someone, but he didn't show up to the appointment that we had set up for him. Our conversation since then has been insanely short. Everything has been weird since he called me her name during intimacy. He rarely speaks to me, only when he needs something. Which makes me sad because I do love him, but I'm scared that he doesn't love me. Worst of all, I recently found out that I'm pregnant. I'm happy because I've always wanted to be a mother, but I am sad I don't know if the father of my child even loves me anymore.